Today, I'll be looking at the 10 things not to do in the UK. And before we get started, just remember to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already.
Let's start by saying that in no way are we trying to scare you away from visiting the UK. But if you are a tourist or an international student in the UK, then wouldn't it be better to know a few things that could offend people there? We mean, you don't want to hurt anyone with your actions or words, let alone get into trouble in a foreign land.
It's never a bad idea, I guess, is it?
People would understand that you may take a while to adjust to the new surroundings and customs. But if you want to save yourself from embarrassing situations as a newcomer in the UK, we have compiled a list of things that you should avoid doing there. Number 1. Calling the United Kingdom England. Before you take the flight to anywhere in the UK, know its full form. UK stands for the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Do you realize what this means? The UK consists of 4 countries: Scotland, England, Northern Ireland, and Wales.
If my comment section is anything to go by, this is 100% true. Anytime I've inadvertently called one the other, I've always been pulled up on it.
Moreover, each country has its own distinctive culture, national identity, and government. So before you begin your sentence with, "England's landscapes are," confirm that you really are in England, and not Scotland, which is a separate country.
I've actually talked about this in another video. I don't think I'm on my own with this. I don't think there's a lot of Americans that are aware of that fact. So if I've ever referred to England as the UK, or the UK as England, I can only apologize.
Number 2. Ask if they know the Queen. How would you feel if some tourist in the US asked if you knew Donald Trump? You'd call that person plain stupid for assuming that everyone breathing the US air knows the president. So how do you expect people in the UK to personally know the royal family? More than 60 million people live in the UK, and over 8 million of those live in Greater London alone. There is no way that these people know their monarch more than the internet knows. You won't offend people with this question, but will definitely make them laugh. In your face. Number 3.
Loads of Americans
block the
don't ask
escalator. Escalators are common in most countries, and we don't give much thought about the do's and don'ts while we are standing on it. Well, you'd be surprised to know that there is indeed a wrong way to stand on an escalator, at least in the UK. It is an unspoken rule in this part of the world that if you want to stand still, you should stay on the right-hand side. Why? Well, the left-hand side of the escalator is reserved for those people who are in a hurry. You know, the lot who believe that by running through the escalator and saving about 30 seconds, they would get to their destination on time. Just remember, if you don't want to be pushed past, then stay on the right.
Anyone who's ever been to Liverpool Street during rush hour knows it is 100% true. If you are on the wrong side, you will get trampled on. There's millions of the suit-wearing army that are just ready to knock you to the side. To be fair, I don't think it's right to say that people think they're going to get to work 30 seconds faster. I think a lot of them just work 8-9-hour days inside an office, and that just gives them a bit of exercise.
Number 4. Jump a queue. Many of us don't give much importance to a queue. You know, the ones we see outside a dessert kiosk, because, well, an ice cream craving can't wait. But don't do that while you're in the UK, simply because that is bad manners.
You will get stares, for sure.
Even if you think it is a petty thing and shouldn't annoy anyone, you aren't doing it here. Before you attempt any such adventure, know that those people ahead in the queue came here first and deserve to be served first. Plus, why do you want any inconvenience in the form of a fight? Stay in the queue, wait for your turn, and all
I can't imagine anyone actually fighting. And I know people seem so obsessed with the fact that British people like to form a queue. But I just think it's a good thing. I mean, you're just being polite, aren't you?
Number 5. Pick up a rented car. We don't mean to say that driving in this country is illegal, but you can get yourself and others in trouble by driving. We have created a nice bit of suspense here. We deserve a pat on the back. Jokes aside, the thing is that you will have to drive on the left side of the road here. And if you come from a nation where the opposite is the norm, you might have a tough time learning this. When you are new to a place, such experiments are the last thing you should be doing, right? Plus, remember you don't know your way around, so you'd be consulting maps on a busy road while getting used to driving on the wrong side.
I think it's pretty standard for people in Europe to rent cars when they're on holiday. I don't think it's much of a concern for people from the UK driving on the other side of the road, as it only takes 1 minute to get used to. And if you're having trouble reading a map while you're driving, just plan your journey ahead of time. It's really not that hard, is it? Having said all of that, the first time my husband came to visit me in New York, I was absolutely terrified at the thought of having to drive to Times Square from JFK where our hotel was. So he did the driving, and I'm sure he was a bit nervous, but he was playing it cool, so it didn't even show.
Number 6, talk about money. You don't ask someone how much they earn or how much money they have in their pocket unless you are family or very close friends, right?
Even then,
Come on,
do you
that's
ask?
basic decency. People in the UK might feel offended if you ask too many questions about money. In fact, boasting about your wealth is also not going to be appreciated. So keep the
don't think
big
anyone
bucks in your
appreciates that.
pocket.
2 things. 1, Americans do not talk about money in that way. And 2, what is this guy's obsession with Jim Carrey? He's in like every other clip.
Number 7, greet inappropriately. Meeting someone for the first time and experiencing that awkward situation where you go for a hug while the other stops you with a handshake.
I've had that quite a
Ever
few
been
times.
there? If you don't want to find yourself in that situation in the UK, just go for a handshake because they aren't too comfortable making physical
always
contact
safe.
with strangers.
Good old handshake.
Hugging and kissing on the cheek is reserved for people they know well and are comfortable with. Oh, and what do you say when someone asks you, "How are you?" By no means is this a cue that you can start off your saga of nasal allergies if you don't want the person to never see your face again. Every "how are you" is followed
That's right,
by
it's just,
"fine,"
"All right."
"thank you," and nothing else.
To be honest, culturally, I do think this is pretty spot on. Americans are much more tactile when we're greeting each other. It's all hugs and kisses.
Number 8, fake their accent. No matter how many times you have practiced the British or Scottish accent, don't use it because it probably isn't that good. People aren't going to like it if you force their accent, and especially when you are doing it all wrong. You will make it look like you aren't a part of them and are desperate to lose your identity and mix with them. Wouldn't it be better if you first make friends with natives of Wales and then try a Welsh accent?
I think it's good practice not to mock anyone's accent, no matter where you're going or where you're from. I don't think that's exclusively to the UK.
Number 9, voice opinions about Brexit. We know that Brexit is the topic of discussion in pretty much the entire world, but you can't be walking around spitting your views about it when you are in the UK. People there are directly related to it, and your views can be taken personally. And what happens when someone takes your casual opinion personally and in a negative light? Yes, they get offended and might beat you up. Okay, maybe we went too far with the beating up part, but you still don't want to risk it.
I think that one's ridiculous. Yes, at the time, it's all anyone talked about, but I've yet to meet anyone from the UK that's spoken to anybody outside of the UK about Brexit and got offended. I think that was just a really silly one to have in there.
Number 10, mess with the Queen's Guard. Did that bushy hat fool you?
I love these guys.
The
They always
Queen's
look so
Guard isn't
fancy.
your friend, and you aren't forgetting that. You may fool around with him a bit, and he won't pay much attention, let alone punish you. But there is a line drawn, and you must never cross it, because the consequences won't be pretty. Never, we repeat, never touch the guard. Because once you do that, prepare yourself for a world of hurt. Do you
I
want
don't know
that
why
gun,
you'd want to touch
the
these
one that was
people anyway.
fascinating you, to be pointed at you? If not, maintain a respectable distance from the guard. He deserves it. How was your experience in the UK? Tell us in the comment section below.
My late father-in-law did a short period of time in the Queen's Guard, as I'm sure a lot of soldiers do from time to time. And he did say that people were incredibly obnoxious when it came to invading his personal space. And I just don't get it. Why would you want to annoy them by going up and touching them and poking them? Would you do that to a normal person? No, you wouldn't, so why would you do it to them? It's just weird. Again, I don't think a lot of these things were exclusive things not to do in the UK. I think a lot of it was just having good manners. And I think that guy has a really weird obsession with Jim Carrey. I mean, his films are pretty good, so why not? If you're from the UK, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think these things are true? Let me know in the comments. But more importantly, I'd love to hear what you guys would add to the list. The things that really, really annoy you that people coming over and visiting do. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, smash that like button if that's what you're into, and I'll see you in the next video.